Welcome to another edition of Octagons, Circles, and Squares, an NBC sports podcast covering the cage, the mat, and the ring. Today we are previewing UFC 316, and what better way to look at the card than to have on the champ himself break it all down. 135-pound king Merab Dvalishvili comes on to talk his upcoming scrap against Sean O'Malley. Plus, we have our betting crew come on and try and give you some of their best bets to help you win some money on this upcoming card. But first, Law and Order: Organized Crime is back for a new season, and this time it will only be on Peacock. Follow Detective Elliot Stabler and the rest of the NYPD's Organized Crime Control Bureau as they try to dismantle the city's most vicious and violent illegal enterprises. Season 5 is streaming now exclusively on Peacock. Joined now by Bantamweight King Merab. Thanks for stopping by, man. How's it going as we approach this big New Jersey fight coming up here in a little over a week or so?
Hey, thank you for having me. Everything is good. I'm happy, healthy, ready, and motivated, and life is good.
I believe this is your 8th time fighting professionally in New Jersey. You had a bunch of fights in Atlantic City. You've got a lot of connections to the area too, obviously with your fight camp and some friends and stuff. What are some of your favorite things about New Jersey that are getting you fired up to fight up in the Northeast for this one?
Um, I would say favorite things. Lots of my friends and teammates will be there, and it's gonna be feel like I'm fighting home because. Yeah, as you guys know, I used to live Long Island, New York, and I used to training there, and I have so many friends, teammates. I have coaches there, and also there is big Georgian community in New York State, New Jersey, Philadelphia area, Connecticut, and will be all will be there at the arena.
It sounds like it's going to be a pretty epic after party, I'm guessing then, if with all your connections here in New Jersey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's gonna be great. But first,
Uh,
I have to win, and I'm a professional, and after win, everything feels good.
I'm sure you've been asked about this 100 times so far, and you kind of mentioned it already that you're feeling good. But how is the toe now? Has you noticed any improvement over the last few days, or is it kind of the same as what it was?
When you looks, it used to look scary, more scary and scary now. But no, it's no problem. Actually, I'm still training. I'm still sparring, and uh, the fight day will be 100% heal up, and I have no problem with that. If it was any problem and any really serious issue, I will not never let anybody post about my injury or me post if it was something serious. But it's not nothing. It's not gonna affect my training or my fight June 7th.
Speaking of scary injuries, it reminds me of your last fight. You had a leg injury that no
Yeah.
one really knew about until after the fight.
Yeah.
Was that way worse than this? Are you saying?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, it was big cut on my leg, and I got infection also, and then yeah, that was the worst, of course. And not only that, I had a back injury. It was some days I was not able to go to the gym and even training. My back was messed up, and it was stressful. But and then nobody really can see the back injury. It's really only only your pain, and but yeah, like we saw like Armen Sarukian pull out because of a back injury. So I mean, no, thank God I made it. I made the fight, and the fight was good.
I saw a video of you running down a mountain recently, so I assume the toe is good if you could run down
Yes,
a mountain. It leads me to my next question. Your social media videos are undefeated. They're all-time great
thanks.
videos. In your opinion, what is the craziest thing you've ever done on all of your videos? What's your favorite one that you've done?
Um, so like In videos I done so many crazy things, it's not in a video. And because I, as you guys know, I used to live in country Georgia. I grew up there, and I grew up in village. Like I was until 9 years old, and then after I moved to capital city, and once I start sport, and then thank God sports saved me. But after I immigrate here in US, and I was living in Long Island, New York, and I started working construction, and we was building houses, and I did so many crazy things in top of the roof. I was always risking my life, and I don't know, like it was work, it was challenging. I have to do it, and I'm also a little crazy. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have like many videos because that was uh, like 2012, 13. Like I was since 2000, beginning of 2013, 2020. I was working construction. I don't have many videos from there, but. To my favorite video, I will say will be when I jumped to Freeze Lake, and that was like organic, like I thought I was jumping in water, and I don't realize I break the ice and I break my head, and I was saying in video, I'm so stupid, I should check. I really did this.
I was actually going to say that's my favorite video. That's the
Yeah,
best one, I think. I know you had to bleed a little for that one, but it makes good video content, as you
yeah,
know
yeah.
at this point.
Thanks. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So let's talk about the fight now. This is your first rematch as a professional, correct? I think as in the UFC
Yes.
or yeah.
Yes.
How mentally, what's the change here knowing that, you guys have seen each other? It's your first time with a rematch. Sean's going to be making adjustments. You're going to be making adjustments. What's the difference this time around?
Um, yeah, like you said, it's first rematch for me, and when when I beat him, and I beat very dominant ways, and then wasn't hard. I was not even tired. I wasn't even not try hard the first fight, and but this time I'm sure he will stop my takedowns, and he will try to he use his weapons, like which is striking, and yeah, I have to ready for striking. If O'Malley stopped my takedowns, and now I want to be ready for his striking game, and I want to see everything, and I want to punch him back and break him.
The first fight, there was the kiss heard around the world or seen around the world. I think it was buzzing all over the internet after that. Do you have anything crazy planned for this fight, or does it all just come naturally in the moment for you for these?
Yeah, everything comes naturally. Of course, I only plan to fight and prepare for fight, and if I find a moment, um, and I see something funny, I will show. I will show, and I can make fun of myself. I can make fun of my opponent, and I can hyped crowd too. But I'm only plan to fight and focus for the fight. But this everything usually comes natural. I don't plan this. It's hard to plan. If you really plan something like that, you're gonna get knocked down.
Let's say that successful campaign over there in next month in New Jersey. Get your hand raised. Is there anyone off the top of your mind that you would like to see next that you would call out in the post-fight interview after this fight?
I guess the now very good contender is Corey Sanhagan. He's calling me out. We never fight each other, and it's gonna be good test for me. And this guy has a really good footwork, good striking, and he beat a lot of good guys. He beat Chito Vera, Song Gidong, and he I forget who he beat like last time, but yeah, he beat a lot of good guys. It's good. I think so. I think he's the like one clear for now clear contender. So we'll see. I'm not calling nobody now because that's UFC's job to whoever UFC thinks that it's the best contender, and who UFC thinks that it's the best for them business. I will fight. Now I'm champion. I'm not choosing nobody.
I know you had said previously that you don't have a lot of interest in moving up and fighting Volk. You really like Volk a lot. But is there anyone at 145 if you were to bump up that would interest you in fighting outside of Volk, or you like where you're at 35?
Yeah, I would like to go fight some super fights and some. There is some, of course. I'm a fighter. I like to challenge and I like to fight the top guys. And there is, of course, other guys that who I would like to fight. But right now I have top opponent Sean Malley. I want to focus for that, and I want to clean out my division, and then after I can talk because now still have to job, and I don't want to talk too much. I'm just regular fighter who working hard, and I want to focus just my division first, and after we'll see.
My last question here is I know you're super busy and got a lot of stuff to do. Speaking of those higher weight classes, another Georgian really making noise up there in Ilia Topuria. Like, what is going on in Georgia that's producing you guys, these elite fighters, and can we expect to see more Georgians dominating the UFC in the future?
Yes, absolutely. There is other Georgians coming, of course. But yeah, Georgians, we are just general top people, like mentally, we are top people and we are warrior people. And because we are small country and we used to uh, like everybody was trying to take over Georgia, but nobody did yet. Like we used to be always in a war, because we are a small, beautiful Christian country, and we have a lot of enemies around us. Who was trying to come take over country or change the religion or like destroy c- country and stuff like that. But we are warrior. We always used to defend our family, our land, our culture, our religion, and thank God we did. We are still doing it. Yeah, we are still in high spot, and some countries they still try to take over, but all these countries.
It's a good note to end on, Merab. That warrior spirit will be in full display in New Jersey. Very excited to see you fight. Thank you for the time, and we'll catch up with you, man. Best of luck over there. We'll be watching.
Thank you, my friend. God bless.
Joined now by our esteemed betting crew to help us make some picks for UFC 316, guys. Thanks for hopping on as always. It's a little tricky card to bet. There's only 2 fights right now on DraftKings that are in the minus 100 favorite range. Everything else very, very wide open, including the co-main event here. A little further down the card, anything catch your eye, Michael, that's worth putting some action on outside of the main and co-main?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from the undercard fights. I think just the value is really not there for the risk. But when I look at the main card, I think Gaslam money line is the play. When I look at Pyfer, he had one big challenge and he lost to Hermanson, and a lot of people we were writing off Gaslam, myself included. But he really showed some promising growth from his last past fights with Rodriguez. So, and he's a gritty guy, so I expect this fight to go the distance. Both guys have pretty decent chins on them. I think even Gaslam's chin's gotten a little better since last time we saw him. So I got money line for Gaslam at it's around plus 300. So I'm not going to probably put over 1 unit on it, but definitely will trickle it in some of the parlays as well.
Yeah, plus 300 is pretty good. I'm sure you could also take some finish or props there to get that a little bit longer. Yeah, Gaslam has been great in recent form, but definitely not out of that fight. Brad, what about you? Anything on the card that sticks out to you?
I want to talk odds, right? And I have to talk about this Kayla Harrison and Julianna Pena fight. With where you look, you can find Harrison as long as minus or as short, excuse me, as minus 750. Most of the legal shops around minus 625. It becomes remarkable. I started to think back. When was the last time we've had a champion in Pena be this big of an underdog, right? She's plus 460. I started to think back to even the Nunez and Pena fight where Nunez was only minus 275 to win. She ended up ultimately won that fight by decision, which was plus 425. Wasn't a big value there on the underdog. I think that even though Kayla Harrison has 900 to maybe 10 pathways of victory in this fight, you have to at least consider at least consider Pena in this fight at this price. And I'm not saying take Pena at the plus 460, plus 465. You can find her at plus 550 at some shops. I'm saying you have to find her pathway to victory, to me, is to catch her, right? To maybe catch her looking, get her with an elbow, something that drops her, something that finishes her, maybe something inside the distance. You'll get a bit of a bigger price. I mean, when you're talking about a champion, a proven champion at that, at numbers that start to reach the plus 800 for finisher props, it's always at least worth consideration. And I think that's somewhere I might go. And it's money that I don't mind risking because the value's there.
Yeah, as we know, Kayla Harrison has a very difficult time with that weight cut. Didn't look great in her second UFC fight, and it was a big factor in both of her UFC fights. Michael, you're the youngest of us here that have cut weight in wrestling. You know what it feels like to cut weight on a regular basis. It does not get easier. If anything, it wears on you. Now in her third fight, you have to think there might be some little bit of a mental grind here with just cutting weight. And at those odds, why not? Why not sprinkle some? Michael, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm also taking the over in this fight as well. But yeah, I do think I'm hearing things about her weight cut has been pretty bad this camp, and Julianna Pena doesn't have really too much weight that she cuts from. So yeah, I think if she can weather the storm in the first round, because that's going to be the key. So even if you want to hedge a little bit, take first round finish by Harrison, or I think it's going to go the distance. One of the two. I don't see it going in between. So I think it's going to be an early finish by Harrison, but in the grand scheme of things, I think Pena, just the veteran she is going to be able to hold her off. She also has a good way with words in her press conferences to kind of gain a little bit of confidence for me to take her as well. So that's what I'm going with the over in rounds, maybe small quarter to half unit on a first round finish, but that'd be it.
The odds don't get much better as we move up to the main event here, where Merab Dvalishvili minus 310 on DraftKings in this rematch. His first rematch. I don't think a lot of people realize that. His first rematch in a professional career against Sean O'Malley. I spoke to him earlier, and he did seem like, he did have to maybe be ready for Sean to adjust a little bit, as you'd expect in a rematch. But again, regardless, very much the favorite. Brad, I'll start with you. How are you approaching betting this fight, if at all?
Yeah, so this fight makes a ton of sense from an odds perspective because of the type of fighter that Merab is, where, Merab was the underdog. He was the underdog in his last two fights. And I think in a rematch, when you have a guy who he's not catching his opponent, he's not doing anything that is going to change, it makes sense. He's constant pressure, and he's a guy who's just going to be constantly on you. Unless something happened with Sean O'Malley while training with Demetrius Johnson, I just don't see a world where O'Malley's going to be able to defend those takedowns. We go back to the first fight between the two. Merab was 6 of 15 takedowns, right? Ultimately leading to outstriking O'Malley. It looked like O'Malley had no answers, no idea of how to stop the takedown. I'm not going to bet this fight just yet, right? So it's a little early. What I was thinking about doing was finding takedown props, right? What would the number be? What would be a good number for me? And I would say it'd be something where like over 3.5, over maybe 2.5 would probably be more realistic. Over 2.5 takedowns for Merab, and I would hammer it. I would play it all the way out to minus 200 because I just think Merab's not going to stand and bang with O'Malley. That's where you get caught with a great striker like O'Malley. He's going to do what he always does. He's going to turn this into a grind fest. He's going to grind out a decision. And why risk it, right? If this match somehow goes to a third or fourth round, and I mean, not somehow, when it goes to the third or fourth round, and if eventually Merab gets caught, I'm hoping he already has 3, maybe 4 takedowns secured, and I cash my bet. But I already cashed on Merab once at the beautiful price. There's no way I'm laying minus 300 on his price to win now. So I'm gonna wait till more props come out, but I'm gonna get a little creative in the takedown market probably.
I love that. I love that betting strategy, Brad. I would actually ladder bet if it was available to you, to take alt lines on the takedown totals all the way up to like maybe even like 6, 7, because it was just such a masterclass of wrestling against O'Malley. We were there at that Sphere fight. And I think I just memory hold the fact that Merab was actually a dog in that fight, which I did not know how that could be possible.
Yeah, he was like plus 250.
It's unreal that people were just drinking the O'Malley Kool-Aid that much. I think for me, I'm hoping that maybe some of that money comes in late. Maybe the day before a night of just the O'Malley fanboys, hammering O'Malley, and maybe I could get Merab at, a little bit closer to in the minus 200 range, which I would hammer. But I love the takedown props there. Michael, how are you going to bet the main event for this card?
So right now, I maybe wouldn't take the money line. Right now, I wouldn't. But give it about 4 or 5 days. Wait till all the UFC unbetted stuff comes out, where O'Malley's looking at crystals or whatever, to change the future. Because people are gonna, like you said, drink the Kool-Aid. They're gonna, oh, he's different this time. He's got different hair, whatever it may be. But the odds are gonna change. I think Merab's gonna drop to closer to 250 by the time the fight starts, and I'm going to put just about everything in the bankroll on Merab to win. Like I said, I think it's going to be a unanimous decision as well, but the odd makers, they know that, though. Whatever the money line is going to be is probably going to be pretty close to him going the distance. He's gotten, I think, out of his last 12 wins, 11 of them by decision. I wish there was more people had unanimous decision, but we'll see. But yeah, I'd say just wait to the very last second, maybe even wait to the fight starts, and O'Malley lands a couple shots to catch those funky live lines that gets put out sometimes during those fights.
That's a good point about the embedded stuff. One thing to keep note, as I'm sure will be well documented in those, is the foot injury with Merab, which a lot of people seem to be concerned about it. Speaking with Merab earlier, he is not concerned whatsoever. And the one point that he did bring up was that if it was serious, he would not have mentioned it. Similar to that nasty leg injury he had in his last fight, where you had no idea it was a thing until post-fight. And he had said that was infinitely worse than this foot injury. So maybe people bite on the foot injury. It doesn't sound like from him it will be an issue, but maybe that could get that line down a little bit, and we could just hammer it in the wee hours of the night as we get up to that main event card.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I mean, I just feel like Merab's just the kind of fighter where if it's something that's overly dangerous and he doesn't see danger, it would be something he'd likely pull out of. And as the odds indicate, even the bookmakers, even the guys who sets the lines, they're not overly concerned about that, because if they factor in that foot injury, that toe injury, and it would be something they'd worry about, there's no way that they're putting this at minus 300, because that means a healthy Merab would be somewhere closer to minus 400. And I just think that line would be a little bit too big.
Well, guys, thank you very much. Brad Thomas, Michael D'Agostino. You can follow both of them on Twitter for more bets. But until then, guys, stick with us here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and stay tuned for more betting advice, interviews in the future. Until then, enjoy UFC 316, and we'll catch up with you next time. We appreciate y'all.